Okay, hello friends. Today we're on page 6 of the Little Brown Book titled Kamatthana. And page 6 starts with prayers, affirmations, and inspiration. So one possibility for our practice is when we sit down to meditate, we might take with us some scripture, some inspiration that we've read or heard or seen recently, a prayer, an affirmation, to help us calm the mind right from the start. So these teachings, many of them are from the Pali Canon, but not all of them. But they should all inspire us or give us confidence. We can use any of them to affirm what is true and how we would like to know this truth by direct experience. Then it says, by the destruction of taints. Well, that's an old-fashioned word. It means anything corrupted or polluted. We want to destroy those things. We want to get rid of those things, and those things all exist in our mind. We're not talking about air pollution or water pollution or pollution of chemicals in our foods. By the destruction of taints, might I, in this very life, not a life that I wish for in the future, in heaven or some other place, but in this life, might I enter and dwell, live there, stay there, not just touch it and then go back to my old habits, enter and dwell in the taintless liberation of mind. So a liberated mind doesn't have any pollution. It doesn't have anything dirty or impure. And this statement says that we can dwell there. We can make that the place where we live day by day, not just on special occasions or when our meditation seems to be more fruitful. And now, how are we going to get this liberation? Liberation by wisdom, panya, realizing it for myself with direct knowledge when the necessary conditions obtain or arise. So, on the last page, page 5, we talked about all the ways that we should not accept a teaching without having a direct experience. And now on page 6, this is what we're told to do. Realizing it for myself with direct knowledge or experience. And then the kind of catch to all of that is we cannot decide when that will be. We cannot predetermine when this should happen. We should not even expect that it will happen on our timetable. Certain conditions have to arise, and those conditions are conditions, mental conditions. They're not that we have to go to a foreign country, or we have to be in the presence of our teacher, or there has to be some special environment, a retreat, some lovely natural environment where we can easily calm our minds. It's all about when the conditions in our mind are appropriate, then this direct experience will arise as a law of nature. Okay, the first quote. Let me not pray to be sheltered from dangers, but be fearless in facing them. One of the most common mistakes students of spirituality make is they want to avoid anything that looks like suffering. They want to get on the path to liberation and go straight there, having better and more enjoyable and beautiful experiences. However, that's not the way the path usually works. There may always be certain obstacles, which we can call dangers, that historically we've tried to avoid. But what we need is the courage, the determination, and the patience to face every situation that arises in our daily life. Let me not beg for stillness of pain, but for the heart to conquer it. So those of us who meditate for longer periods of time, and even beginners as they are learning to meditate, there is lots and lots of discomfort in sitting without moving for any period of time, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. The back hurts, the ankle hurts, the knee joints hurt, the hip hurts, pain in all parts of the body. And this sentence says, may I not beg for that pain to go away, but may I have the heart, the determination to conquer it. The body's pain becomes a tool, a teacher for us to overcome identifying so strongly with being the body. The body arises, lives for some time, and passes away according to laws of nature. And one of those laws, of course, is our own personal karma. If we're going to be successful in our spiritual practice, there must come a commitment not to try and avoid any form of discomfort. Let me not crave in anxious fear to be saved, but hope for the patience to win my freedom. So all forms of craving are suffering, including the craving to be liberated. But many people are trying their best to be liberated because they're running from problems which they find unsolvable or insurmountable. But the spiritual practice requires us not to run from something to the Dhamma, but to use the Dhamma to liberate ourselves from the craving to run. Okay, the next inspiration is loss and gain, disrepute and fame, praise and blame, and pleasure and pain. These things are transient in human life, inconstant and bound to change. Those four pairs, those 8 vocabularies actually pretty well cover our human life experience. Sometimes we're losing and sometimes we're gaining. Sometimes we're popular and sometimes we're being criticized. Sometimes we're being praised, complimented, and sometimes people are blaming us. And of course, a pleasure and pain. Everybody wants the pleasure and nobody wants the pain. And in the previous paragraph, we were told how important it is to use pain as part of gaining wisdom on our path. These things are transient in human life, inconstant and bound to change. The mindful wise ones discern this well, observant of their alterations. So it says the mindful wise, there's the clue. We must develop a supreme ability to remain mindful. And without mindfulness, it's almost, if not impossible, to reach any deep state of wisdom. We must use the mind to examine itself and to be able to distinguish what is Dhamma and what is dukkha. So all 8 of those, loss and gain, disrepute and fame, etc., they're all forms of suffering. Some are pleasant and some are not. So in the Pali language, the pleasant ones are called sukha dukkha, and the unpleasant ones are dukkha dukkha. It's just a natural part of human life that we would experience both. And the reason is, and this is seldom taught, they arise out of the same source. So pure mind is the source out of which a suffering arises, as well as the source of where liberation arises. So in rejecting or resisting or complaining or refusing these more painful experiences of being blamed, maybe you're innocent, or having some kind of emotional pain or financial pain, psychological pain, these are all meant to be experiences that lead to ultimately our liberation. It says observant of their alterations. That means they're always changing. Some recent social science studies about the mind and the way the brain works estimated that we have at least 10,000 different thoughts every day. So whatever thought you're having, it's not lasting very long. A new thought is taking its place, a new emotion, a new feeling, a new sensation. It may stay for some time, it will pass away, and then a different one will come. Then one of the, what we call the old one, may return. But the point is, it's in a constant state of flux or change. Pleasant things do not stir the mind, and those unpleasant do not annoy them. So equanimity, tranquility, peace of mind means we're not clinging to the things that we like, the pleasant and pleasurable experiences, and we're not rejecting or denying the things that we don't like. All likes and dislikes are dispelled by them, eliminated and abolished. And the reason that is true is we, through mindfulness, begin to notice that our suffering is based on our attachment to one or a number of those 8 conditions that started this paragraph. We all want to have a nice time, a good life, a happy life, a pleasant life, a healthy life, and by definition, we don't want to suffer, we don't want to be broke, we don't want to be sick, we don't want to be unhappy. And both those forms of craving create clinging, and those combinations of craving and clinging are the source of our suffering. Aware now of the stainless, griefless state, they fully known, having gone beyond. So there's our inspiration that we can go beyond, not go beyond having all kinds of different experiences, but go beyond craving or clinging to any of them.